up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Mostly Movies podcast with Nick and Christian. He's Nick, I'm Christian, coming to you live from the Airbnb, at an undisclosed location. And today, the movie we are mostly discussing is The Thunderbolts, starring...
Thunderbolts!
That's pretty good. Hold on to your hats here, kids. Florence Pugh, Wyatt Russell, Lewis Pullman, who we're going to have a conversation about, David Harbour, Sebastian Stan, Geraldine, hold on, Viswanathan, now, keep holding on, and Olga Kurilenko.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
But before we get into all that, as always, please head over to thescreengods.com for all of Nick's movie reviews and our full library of podcast episodes. Guys, you can find it all at thescreengods.com. And of course, you can always find us on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, IG, and X, formerly known as Twitter. It's all happening on X, the Everything app, for more clips, reels, and other fun content. Brother.
Woo! You did it, man.
Did Marvel finally get it? Did they finally get it right? It's been 15 it's been 35 years since Iron Man 1.
35 years.
I mean, legit, it's been
We're getting pretty close to the second half of that. That's for sure.
Well, Iron Man 1 came out in 2008, if I believe. Oh,
if you believe,
yeah.
Or if you
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I'm
check
pretty
that
sure. For you. Iron Man 1, 2008. Way to go.
Nailed it.
Just on it, dude.
That was really the kickoff of the Avengers series, because at the end of Iron Man 1 was the very first secret scene.
Right.
With Nick Fury. Yeah. Yes. So that's what really kicked it off. And they've come, it's been a long journey, I guess I would say. I was going to say they've come a long way. And maybe after tonight's movie, I could say that. Maybe they're headed in the right direction again, I think I would say.
Their history is a little like the stock market. It's been up and down.
Well, it got pretty screwy during COVID, because what they did was, once the Disney Plus app came out, they started coming out with shows. And so you had to start watching all these extra shows, which, I know you're not doing. I barely did it.
That's
I think I only saw one of them. And they started making you do an extra homework. And it started to
became a chore.
It became a chore, and also there were shows like She-Hulk, don't want to watch. And what was the other one? Secret Invasion. There was WandaVision, which was okay.
Well, yeah.
But again, it was like all this extra homework you had to do, and I really just I think that's when I tapped out. I actually tapped out maybe after like Avengers Endgame 1, or whenever that was wrapped up. Whenever the first phase was wrapped up, I think that's when I definitely tuned out. It got to be too much.
Which is funny, because I actually saw the first Avengers. Well, sorry, I saw Iron Man, obviously. I saw the very first Avengers, the very first one way back, whenever year that was. Didn't watch a single Marvel movie from that point, because I just wasn't really interested in it, and none of my kids were. But then one of my daughters, my older daughters, Elisa, really wanted to see Avengers Endgame, and that was right before she moved to North Carolina, and so I wanted to do it with her, and you went with us, and I hadn't seen a single Avengers movie since the first one, so I was like, do I need to see like any of this? And I had only seen I think maybe Iron Man 2, but that was 2010, right? So I had seen basically nothing. But whatever the one is where he snaps and everyone disappears.
Yeah, that's Endgame Part 1, I believe, because it was two parts.
Well, there's Infinity War is the last one, right? I think, something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I legitimately don't know. I legitimately don't know, which is funny.
Well, I mean, we're not. So very honest about our Marvel feelings to begin with.
So Endgame was the one you saw. Infinity War was the second part.
No,
is what I think.
It says right here, 2018 is Infinity War, Endgame is 2019. Now, I've seen both since.
Oh, so I had it reversed.
Had it reversed. So I think I saw Infinity War.
You saw Infinity War.
Yeah, I believe. With you.
What a title for a movie.
I know,
Infinity
right?
War.
Infinity. Anyway, so bottom line is,
that sounds horrible.
I didn't really, see any of them until that point, and then I didn't really follow it since then. I've seen a couple more Marvel movies since then because my younger girls are now teenagers and they really got into it. So I've seen Black Widow, which is why I know who Yelena is, and the Red Guardian and all that, which I actually liked Black Widow quite a bit. It was pretty good.
Were they involved in that? I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's the whole movie. Yeah,
Florence Pugh was in Black Widow?
Dude.
All right, I had no idea.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're learning.
You have
learning.
You have not seen Black Widow, have you?
No, I have no.
It's pretty clear. It's actually one of the better ones, I think. So yeah, you should see that.
You know what I love about, speaking of Black Widow, in Avengers, there's this scene where they all kind of for the first time they're like all standing in a circle and they're all like kind of showing off like their weapons and stuff. And you have like Iron Man and you have the Hulk, you have Thor, you have that, and then you get to Black Widow and she just has 2 pistols. And there's like an alien invasion going on and she just has 2 pistols. And Jeremy Renner is Hawkeye, he just has a bow and arrow. You're like, what are you guys doing with that? What are you doing with
well,
that?
you find out what they do with it later, but
it
is funny though. Yeah, and that's the whole thing about it.
Is David Harbour in Black Widow too?
Yes, he's the dad. Obviously, clearly you were not connecting all these dots in the movie.
So Black Widow is Yelena's sister?
Yeah.
Wait.
Did you watch the same movie? Yes. Did you watch the movie today?
Yeah, but doesn't she have her sister murdered when she's a child?
No.
Oh man, Jesus.
No.
All right.
You need to see the movie. So Christian clearly doesn't know anything about Black Widow or the whole storyline.
Sorry.
But
I'm
that's
not a
okay.
Black Widow expert.
But let me tell you something though. This is so funny because normally we'll do a plot recap.
See,
We're not doing that
saying.
today. We're not doing that today because this is a Marvel series movie. If you don't know the plot by now, then you're not seeing this movie to begin with. But what's interesting is I won't give the plot. I don't talk about the plot, but if you've seen the trailer and stuff, you know that basically the characters, the heroes in this movie are kind of almost anti-heroes, and they all have histories, obviously, and as not heroes, basically.
No, it's a ragtag group of rogue assassins, pretty much.
Misfits and ne'er-do-wells, yeah, that whole thing, which is such a weird word, ne'er-do-wells. But anyway, so that's the kind of their thing, but my daughter, who I had saw both of my twins saw it, and I was texting them about it because I have pretty strong thoughts on this whole thing in the positive. But I sent them my instant reaction, which I don't even know if you saw yet because it was on the way. It was right when I got in the car. I did an instant reaction. It's on X, the Everything app. It's also on YouTube Shorts. It's also on Facebook. It's on Instagram. Anywhere we are. So I sent her that, and she goes, you know what's really funny is that you basically have no idea who any of these characters are or any of their backstories, and yet you still liked it. She's all, and I can't wait to explain all of it to you on Friday when I see you. This is what my daughter said. And for the most part, she's kind of right. So some of the main characters, I know more about Red Guardian and Yelena. Christian knows nothing about them, clearly. But I don't know anything about Bucky. Couldn't even tell you really what he's from. I think maybe the Captain Americas. I've never seen any of the Captain Americas.
Yeah, he's from all that. He was also in Avengers. He's been a pretty central character. Obviously.
Never seen him.
Okay,
so,
see?
yeah,
Right,
so I don't know anything about that one.
Guardian.
Exactly. And so me and you both, but this is the nice segue, right? Because you don't need to. That's the thing. You really don't. And that's always a sign of a good franchise movie. And we talked about this, I think, last time with The Accountant too. It's like, which is totally different, obviously different type of movie, clearly. But if you don't need to see the first one and you can still pick up the pieces, that's a good start. So that was pretty good. But yeah, so I will hold all of my strong thoughts about this. I want you to get into your breakdown of it. Let's get into it.
Well, Marvel finally woke up, and with the Fantastic Four preview too, which looks really good. I think they're finally starting to return to their roots and what made Marvel actually great. This movie had everything. The humor was great. There was a lot of touching moments. I thought the relationship between Yelena and her dad, that moment, the conversation they had at the end was really good, even though I knew nothing. I apparently know nothing about either of them. And it's just we always touch on this topic. It's just a fun movie. The set pieces are great. Like the scenes when they're trying to escape the initial vault was awesome. And that was like a pretty good chunk of the movie. That was like, I think at least 30 minutes of the movie was just that beginning part. So I thought all that was great. I thought the casting nailed it. everybody in this movie is awesome. And you think like one actor like David Harbour, to me, probably stole most of the scenes, but Wyatt Russell had so many great lines. The girl who teleports, I forget her name, she had great lines. Like everybody,
Ghost Girl or whatever her actual superhero name is.
Like every single character, and Florence Pugh had probably the best. She had the most lines, obviously, but yeah, just when you think like one actor is stealing the movie, then another actor comes in, and it's so the humor is finally not corny. Julia Louis-Dreyfus was amazing as always, and such a weird role to see her in as like this supervillain, just complete bitch and like just the worst person in the world. But she was kind of playing like she kind of always plays Elaine, which is great because I'll watch Elaine in any movie. It doesn't matter. She could play Elaine in every single movie, and just kind of, and what she does is just kind of put her own twist on, a different twist on it every time, but it's always pretty much still Elaine.
It's subtle, right? Yeah.
But
and she basically, it's like her Veep character, right? It's basically
that's kind of what it was. Yeah, just like just a lot more extreme, like the most extreme version of that, which was really funny to watch. So yeah, I don't know who directed it, but I thought they did a great job. I don't think I've heard of him before, actually, because I remember seeing it in the credits, but I don't remember even recognizing it.
Yeah, so his name is Jake Schreier. That's his name.
Yeah, don't recognize it.
He's done a couple of things, maybe not movies you would have watched, but he Paper Towns, which is a pretty big movie amongst teen girls. It's like one of those teen love shit movies, like like Fault in Our Stars, that kind of stuff. It's that kind of movie. He did, or at least is that right? Known for and some really, other than that, not much. So he's not known for much at all.
Well, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so really good. I mean, keep going.
What else was I gonna say? Damn, I forgot.
Well, let's say this. Was there anything? And I think I want you to give me your overall heat meter rating at the end of this, because that's something I don't usually get from you, and I'd like you to do it. But before you do, is there anything you would have liked to see done differently, or that you didn't care for?
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Thank you. That's what I was going to say. The plot, if I have any criticisms for this movie, and again, it's a superhero movie, so I'm not trying to read too deep into shit. But like, obviously the plot of like a misfit ragtag team of old wily vets coming together, putting aside their differences to overcome for the greater good, has been done a lot. It's nothing new. It's definitely nothing new. And I thought at the end with the villain like overcoming himself was, again, I don't want to call it corny, because that's what the movie was about, and that's what his character was about. But I was just kind of like, all right. I didn't really love it, I guess I would say. And I just kind of thought it was kind of just corny in that way, if I have any criticism about it. But again, it's tough for superhero movies to really, I guess, dig deeper than like surface level themes like that. And they're all kind of the same. They're kind of all done the same way. So I didn't think there was anything new about it. Let me say that. But it was done very well. Oh, kudos to them, and kudos to the director, because I thought they killed it. And what's the heat meter out of? 5, 10?
It's out of 5 flames.
Yeah, I'd give it. Can I judge it on a Marvel heat meter?
You can. I'm not going to specify that.
Can we tame it in terms of Marvel?
Well, okay, let me say this. Rate it on what we and you rate things on. So if you go to our website, you can read about how, like, what we're trying to do here. But if you wrap up all the different categories that we look at, how, the camera work, or what we would call aesthetic. We're not directors. We don't know. We're not filmmakers. But how it hits you aesthetically, you have screenplay, just roll everything together, and what we're trying to do is watch an entertaining, good movie. So it doesn't matter what what type it is. Just, were you entertained? And based on that, yeah,
I'd give it a solid 4.
Perfect. All right, so 4 flames. Yeah,
I give it a solid 4.
Cool. All right. Well,
I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I never at any point felt bored.
Right,
and that's crucial.
Which is saying something, because Christian, I don't know if you guys know, watching a movie with him probably anytime after 3:30, the lights go off and he's fighting for his life, dude. It's wild. He was yawning like 5 seconds, and I'm like, oh my god, he's not gonna make it. He rallied.
No,
he
I
needs
was
a Red Bull
solid
to get through things.
up until the last. Well, dude, the thing is now it's a 3-hour excursion. The fucking previews are 45 minutes because it's not just previews anymore. There's fucking ads. They're throwing
I know,
ads
it's
in
a
there
whole
now.
thing.
There's a Coca-Cola
brutal.
ad. There's the movie theater ad. There's the fucking Cinemark reward ad. There's fucking 50 ads plus the fucking previews. So you're like, what? What? And you today, ironically, were like, because Jamie and Jordan got caught in traffic, they couldn't make it, and it was like 20 minutes past, and we're like, no, you're good. And it was like 25 minutes past, and then Nick was like, all right, yeah, the movie's about to start. And then we got in there. There was still another 10 fucking minutes of previews. They couldn't even make the movie. They probably could have made the movie.
No, they wouldn't have. But
No, they were never gonna make it.
To your point, though, I mean, it wasn't. I don't even know if it was 10 minutes, but we were close. But it was long. It was like easily, like you said, it was probably 40 minutes of pre-movie bullshit.
5:30, and it started at 4:50.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, no, that's okay. No, that's all relative. Your mic, by the way, switched off again to your MacBook. So while he's trying to adjust that, this is actually perfect because I don't want him to talk while I'm talking. Just keep this guy's mouth shut. No, I'm just kidding. So I appreciate your take on this. Now, this is one of the reasons why you guys should follow us and listen to us and watch us. I have a very different take than him. We don't. I mean, generally, we both agree that we really, really enjoyed it. And I'm going to go, I'm not going to like give this thing 5 stars, but I am going to give it 4.5. And that's not to Price is Right Christian in any way. But I have a very different reaction. I had a visceral reaction to this movie, which is saying something because it is a Marvel movie, for one. And you generally don't get that. Christian touched on a couple of scenes, specifically the scene with Florence Pugh, who's Yelena, and the Red Guardian, which is her dad, which it's not overdone, but there's some light comedy to it. It's a heartwarming little scene or whatever. But I'm gonna share my reaction to the entire thing. So we're very opposite on the plot thing. So I do understand. I agree with Christian on it's not original, the ragtag part. That is not original, clearly. So totally agree there. The villain overcoming himself, maybe that's been done, but not like this. And so my statement that I want to make, and that I think what I would tell people why they should go see this movie, is they center this movie around mental health. And it is so well done to me. I've seen movies try to do this, not Marvel movies. This is a Marvel movie. And if you're paying attention and you're watching the symbolism in the scenes, I was watching it like, this is incredible scene work of what they're doing here. They're symbolizing depression and emptiness and the void, and that's all at the villain, like Christian said. But it's not that they're combining forces to beat an external villain, which is what you normally see in a plot. They're rallying around his mental health to support him through what his dark void is. And there's no way to explain this that would do it justice. You have to watch it. The climax of this movie, I was telling my older daughter this, there was a good 25 minutes where I forgot we were watching a superhero movie completely.
Yeah.
I was like, this is absolutely incredible. Yes, he was overcoming himself, but he was fighting himself. And the way that they filmed that scene where he's fighting himself, but they don't want him to actually kill himself. So they stop him from doing that, but they need him to beat his demons. Like this whole thing, yeah. I have never seen anything so effectively done like that. And so I was like, this is absolutely incredible. And the fact that it's happening in a Marvel movie is bananas.
Yeah.
So like you said, now I don't know who the writers are, which is actually who gets credit for this. Like I think the director gets a ton of credit for how it was executed. The actors get a ton of credit. Everyone gets a piece of this pie. Yeah. And they all get their flowers.
The fact that like all he needed was a hug.
Exactly.
Like,
that's it.
It's pretty fucking
right?
It's pretty fucking cool. I gotta say.
Yeah, it is very original in that regard.
Yeah.
There's 3 different writers on this, so it's not just one.
No, I
but
agree.
Everyone I would give flowers to.
That's a great point.
And I mean, I left the movie. The exit vibes were super high. That was my instant reaction. Was the exit vibes were so high because I've just never, again, very rarely do you leave a movie with a visceral reaction like that. And now we've left movies entertained, and I was definitely entertained on this. And then all the things you said about getting it right and executing the Marvel part, obviously I agree with all that. There was very few corny jokes, a lot of great ones.
So many good
one-liners. A lot of great one-liners. Yeah, so funny. Me and you were cracking up. So like, yeah, man, like I really liked that element of it a lot. It's hard to so I'll give it 4.5, but that in general, just go see it and you're not going to be disappointed in any way, shape, or form. But at its core, I think what makes it so good is they got back to, like you said, their fundamentals and just better writing. But B is and I don't want to get too corny here, but they actually made it mean something.
Right.
So
Right.
in the last several Marvels, it became so much about the Marvel verse. And that's not a term, I'm calling it that. The Marvel verse, but that's not relatable. None of us are heroes, and and normally hero movies you escape because you want to live vicariously through them. But we've been now watching hero movies for 25 times now. So none of them.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, I was just gonna say, so that whole thing of we're looking up to heroes, that's well gone.
Yeah.
Especially in the Marvel franchise, we've seen it 100 times, so it's not relatable. This one, it was we need to relate, we need to connect with it somehow, and I think they realized that, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do that, and holy crap, it made such a huge difference. So good.
I agree.
So good.
I agree. And that scene with Florence Pugh where she's just like, I know I fucking suck. I know I stink.
Yeah.
I know I'm a fuck up. That there was so much of that. I totally agree with you, and it's
real.
Yeah, it's a great point because you're saying you're relating to normal people, which is kind of what the show The Boys has done with kind of their superhero, their kind of take on it. But in that universe, superheroes are evil and they're kind of like the elites of the world. But it's also kind of a little bit more grounded than the normal Marvel movie. So no, I agree, and it's a great point because there was so much of that, and it did try and scratch into that, and it's like, yeah, this is what the fuck you guys should have been doing, but what happens is when they're making a kajillion zillion dollars, people will eat slop, and they got to be humbled. And I think they were, and I think I'm excited for that Fantastic Four movie too. I think that looks really good. So,
yeah. I'm a little, we can pivot to that Fantastic Four. I'm a little concerned.
I hope we see these characters again, and I hope they take.
Oh yeah, I don't want to.
I hope they take this further. Which I'm sure they will.
Well, yeah,
but...
we don't. If you haven't seen it, we won't give you too many spoilers. But the end definitely teases something that I guess maybe you could expect it. I think if I wasn't so lost in the subplot, in the meaning of it, I would have been like, all right, I'm ready for this. But I was so hooked into that climax scene and stuff that when it gets to the end, it almost took me by surprise. It almost disappointed me because it was almost like, oh, that's right, it is just a superhero movie, and it ended that way, and I was kind of like, okay. But it is a superhero movie, so you gotta let that go. Or I gotta let that go.
Well, shit, it hit pretty close to home for me. Shit, that's going on.
Don't think I wasn't thinking that. Well, and also there's plenty of people in my life where I was thinking about, and so go see it, guys.
Yeah, it's really good.
Really worth your time.
And I could also see.
Almost wish we could have seen that in real D. I wanted to, but there wasn't a time.
XD.
Yeah.
No, I think this could really be like that new Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's that separate kind of trilogy. But I think Guardians of the Galaxy has the best. I like those characters over. I like that trilogy over any of the Avengers stuff. Those were, to me, the best Marvel movies, and I think they could really have something like that here if they kind of do a spin-off kind of thing like they did with Guardians. Because I think all the characters are great. The chemistry was great from everybody. It all just worked perfectly.
Originally, and this isn't really a knock, it was going to be for the first 15 minutes of the original Captain America, I guess. Whatever, Walker. I don't know what his real name is. What actor that is. Do you know?
The original?
Is that the Wyatt guy? The Captain America guy.
Yeah, that's Walker. Yeah, Wyatt Russell, sorry.
So Wyatt Russell. I've never heard of him, never seen him before.
That's Kurt Russell's son.
In the first, is it really? Okay, there
Guess
you go.
What?
Fun fact. Fun fact.
I'm gonna blow your fucking brain right now. Do you know who Lewis Pullman is?
Bill Pullman's kid.
Yeah.
Which one is he supposed to be?
He's Sentry.
He's Sentry.
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't. He kind of got. I can see a little now. Now that you're saying it, I can see a little Bill.
Pull up his picture. They look identical. It's crazy. They both do.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is the Wyatt Russell guy, initially, his character came on way too strong for me, and I was getting annoyed by him.
He wasn't charismatic.
But just when he
had no charisma at first. I thought the same thing.
No, Yeah, he was just irritating, but then it kind of got better, and I don't know if he got better. I just think the writing kind of saved him a little bit. They were like, all right, pull him back a little
Well,
bit.
yeah, he's softened.
So what's his name? Lewis Russell? I mean Lewis Pullman.
Yeah, Lewis Pullman. No, his character softened up over
Yeah.
quickly, which I thought was a cool character arc for him because he was insufferable at first. Which is funny because every other
Yeah.
character made that very clear that he was fucking insufferable, and then he got funnier and funnier, and that's a credit to the writing too. But yeah, dude, those are twins. Twins.
So yeah, if you're watching the stream here, you can see Bill Pullman and his son. Yeah, I do see it now. As you're saying that, yeah, interesting. All these young kids coming up. It's you know
They're
what that
finally
means. All
Nepotism,
that
maybe?
means, guys. Yeah, we could do a whole topic on that. I actually don't mind it. But
they're all good. Fucking
sure.
What's his name? The main dude who's hot right now. God damn it, I can't think of his name. From
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid. Then you got Jack Nicholson's kid. You got Louis Pullman.
Ray Nicholson. Louis Pullman.
They're all coming up.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is what that
weird.
really means is that we're just getting old.
Probably.
Like it was inevitable, but we're aging, and now it's like, oh, these guys are probably. It's like, yeah, that's just what happens when you get old. They show up. The same way that Charlton Heston's son, and then freaking there's a bunch of like my dad. I remember my dad used to tell me like, oh, that's so and so's kid, and I'm like, I have no idea who you're talking about because it was like an aging, like a super old, It
was
that's Marlon Brando's son or something like that.
It was like when Ben Stiller was a kid. He goes, that's Jerry Stiller's kid, and you're like, I don't know who the fuck.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. It's like Jerry Stiller was Ben Stiller at that time. It's wild.
What's interesting to me is that like all these kids are like actually genuinely good actors and actresses, where like basketball players' sons are all dog shit. They're never good.
Well, let's talk about nepotism, but in a fun, lighthearted way.
Sure.
So, I feel like, and there's obviously very different things, right? With athletes, there's two things that you have to have: dedication to work hard, but you also need supreme athletic gifts, right? Now, I think the misconception is, well, he's born to someone else who had supreme athletic gifts, so by default, he just must have them.
Well, 100%.
Which, number one, is false. It's not fact, because number one, he's got two parents, not just one. So maybe the mom is just a terrible athlete.
Well, of course, it's always the mom ruining it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the mom ruining
or
it.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. Not in Caitlin Clark's case, I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah, no, but I'm just saying it's never happened like one time. You would think it would happen one time. You know what I mean?
It has happened. It has happened, but it hasn't happened as close as we're seeing it with the whole LeBron thing. But Steph Curry, he's Del Curry's son, and he's one of the best players ever.
Well, all right.
That's it.
Best players ever. He's a pretty decent ball player for sure. But that's what. But
no, Steph Curry.
No,
is one of the best players.
Oh,
ever,
Steph Curry. Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
But his dad. But
yeah.
I'm talking about like the superstars' kids, like Jordan's kids, LeBron's kids, like the tippy top of the top NBA players. They've never produced a son that's ever been able to come close.
So this is what I was going to say is, well, real quick, and then I'll let you take over. The second part of it is the working hard and overcoming stuff, right? Well, you're raised by a superstar. So your chip on your shoulder, your design, there's not a single one of those athletes that you're talking about, these older athletes, these superstars, a lot of them came out of nothing, which was their chip on their shoulder. They're coming out of poverty. Look at LeBron. Yeah. Coming out of poverty. He's channeling that pain and that thing to become great. These kids are raised in billion-dollar franchises in their families. Like, it's very different. Like, I think it's very hard to get to that level.
It's a silly comparison because obviously acting, I think if you grow up around actors and especially the most famous actors who can literally put you in movies and get you those roles, like I think they're obviously it's like being an athlete is like one in whatever the fucking odds are. But I think if you have any sort of charisma and are able to speak articulately, like someone can teach you how to act, and especially if you grow up in those households. So it's a completely different thing. But it is just funny how literally all of them at the same time are coming up at the same exact time. It is just interesting. But
it's just Well,
But they're all great.
They're all kind of. Yeah, they're all kind of similar in age. They're all kind of like,
Yeah,
it's
weird.
my time to shine
It's so
now.
strange that it was like Hollywood was like, all right, wheel them out. Brad Pitt is 60. Tom Cruise is 62. George Clooney is dyeing his hair. He's off the goddamn deep end. He's not making anything good again.
16.
Yeah. Quentin Tarantino said he's not making any more movies. Martin Scorsese's about to, go upstairs.
He may not finish his last movie because Lord knows it's going to be 4.5 hours long. He won't finish writing it.
He's only got 6 hours left. He's got no time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's got no time.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. The only reason DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are still relevant is because they didn't have kids. That's how they knew.
Well,
which George Clooney, by the way, did have kids with his wife, and so that's another piece.
Does Brad not have any biological kids? Were they all adopted?
I'm sorry, he does have.
I think he
has.
No, he
one.
does. Yeah, I think
he has one with Angelina Jolie. You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess because they're never together. I think they got taken from him. Honestly, like it's pretty bad. That whole thing.
Leo DiCaprio has kids. They're just his girlfriends.
Oh yeah. By the end of the movie, his date was too old for him, according to Ricky Gervais. God,
yeah, I forgot about Leo. We still got Leo, and we still got McConaughey.
Yep.
And we still got Woody Harrelson. Still got who else do we got?
I mean, there's a handful.
There's a handful, but they're getting up there though, all of them.
Well, they're just gonna have to pivot, which they're gonna have to do what
Tom Cruise isn't. Tom Cruise isn't. He's never gonna pivot. He's never gonna.
Well, I don't know. We've seen his Mission Impossible preview about 100 times, which is hilarious because he keeps saying, "You got to trust me one last time," and I've seen that 72 times in the last. I'm like, all right, Tom, it's not really one last time here, sir. It's been 72 times.
Do you think after this he's gonna? I would love to see him in some more dramas. Like, do some dramas, bro. A Few Good Men is one of your best movies. You don't have to. He can't keep doing this. And I know he will. I know he will, though. But it's like, dude, do something like, or even switch it up, like in Collateral. Put a wig on. You know what I mean? Bring back
put a wig on.
Put the silver hair back on, or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm honestly. This is a good exercise. I'm honestly other than Maverick, Top Gun, which is obviously the same genre, but I'm actually trying to think what his latest. So let's look at this. And we'll play a game here, and you tell me. Let's see if you can name the last movie that he did that wasn't an action film. Let's just see if you can even do it. If you can even remember.
It would have to be Jerry Maguire. Or Vanilla Sky.
I think it has its own filmography here because it's got so freaking many. Hold on, I'm trying to freaking find it. Where's his actual filmography? Just so many here. Oh my God, this is incredible. Credits.
Yeah, I want
to see also Tom Cruise filmography. Okay. All right. So, oh my God, dude, it's going back a ways.
Yeah, I want to say Vanilla Sky, which was like 2000, mid 2000s. Vanilla Sky. He had Minority Report.
The last one that he did that is not an action movie. This is crazy, dude. Now, you could make an argument, which, by the way, this movie I'm about to say was actually really good, and it wasn't an action movie. So if you didn't, I think you've seen it, but he did a movie called American Made, which was really good. Yeah. Based on the true story of that guy who was running drugs.
Yeah,
as a pilot.
Yeah.
But even in that movie, I think he probably flew his own plane. But at least he wasn't like running around. He wasn't shooting people and all that. It was more of a true story of just following him around.
Yeah.
But if you exclude that,
okay.
If you exclude that, which is 2017, oh my God, this is so crazy. Oh my God,
I know he did a.
You have to go.
He did a movie with Cameron Diaz, I think, called Night and Day. But that was like kind of a...
Yeah, but that's still an action. Yeah, like it's an action comedy, though.
Okay, all right.
Literally, it says American satirical action comedy. So he's still running around shooting things and doing that shit. All right. He did a movie called Lions for Lambs, which is with Robert Redford and Meryl Streep. So pretty heavy hitters on the drama acting side.
I forgot about Valkyrie.
Yeah, but Valkyrie is a war movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't shooting really in that, so you're kind of right in that regard. It was more different. But other than that, that was 2007.
Valkyrie?
Well, Valkyrie was 2008.
Okay, all right.
2007 was Lions for Lambs.
And what was that?
Which is so it's an American war drama directed by Robert Redford about the connection between a platoon soldier in Afghanistan, a U.S. senator, a reporter, and a college professor. Actually, sounds kind of good. So you should actually watch that. But he did those 3 in a row. Okay, hold on. This is so good. All right, 2002, Minority Report. 2003, The Last Samurai. 2004,
The Last
Collateral.
Samurai.
2005, the 2004, 5, War of the Worlds. Then 2006, Mission Impossible 3. So he did all those.
What a fucking
Then he took
run. Are you serious?
And that's not even including like his like Austin Powers thing that he did in there too. He was like a guest in one of those.
Just for funsies.
But then
threw that in.
just for funsies, he's himself in that. It's a cameo.
Oh, okay.
Then he does these 3 movies: Lions for Lambs, which we haven't seen, Tropic Thunder, right, and then Valkyrie, and then Night and Day, which that movie just sounds terrible, honestly. But maybe we'll have to give it a chance. I don't know.
I'll watch it when I'm sick.
I never saw it.
Next time I have the
yeah,
flu.
exactly. Yeah,
Seems like a good flu movie. Throw on.
I guess he did.
Warm up
You know
my
what he
tum-tum.
did do? So I guess I should say this. He did do. In 2012, he did a movie called Rock of Ages, which is like a musical comedy by Adam Shankman, who I've heard that name. I think it's a Broadway. It's a musical.
It sounds like something
Comedy.
Jack Black would be in. What is that?
It's
What is that
School
movie?
of Rock.
No,
It's
I'm not.
School of Rock.
No, I'm thinking of something else. But anyways.
Jack Black is School of Rock. But anyway.
No, yeah, he is. But
so Rock of,
he has like a movie with his like band. I thought it was called like Rock of
Yeah,
Ages or something. Yeah, Tenacious D.
I don't know.
I forget what that's called.
I don't know.
But yeah.
Anyway, so he plays some sort of guitar player in that one, so not an action movie, but that was 2012. Basically, for the last 11 years, he's done Jack Reacher, Oblivion, Edge of Tomorrow, Mission Impossible, Jack Reacher, The Mummy, American Made, Mission Impossible, Maverick, Mission Impossible, and then 2026, sorry, from my brain.
God,
my
what
brain
the fuck is that?
short-circuited.
My God.
Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu is directing and co-producing an American film, but it doesn't really say what. It doesn't say anything about what it's about. There's no name on it, but apparently it's going to have Tom Cruise and a bunch of people I've never heard of. So anyway,
Okay, well,
there you go.
sweet.
Yeah. It's been a while was the point of that whole thing.
The kid is a fucking worker. That is insane.
Yeah, dude.
He's made a movie almost every single year
He doesn't stop, man.
for the past
I think
20
he's
years.
just bored. Like he just stays active. He's one of those guys that like just doesn't ever stop.
He's not married
Ever.
Is he married right now? I don't think so.
Think so, dude. I think he's poisoned now. People are aware, like he can't get sucked in. I mean, he comes with all the Scientology stuff. Like he just comes with so much.
I wonder
now,
if he's even
you
really
know?
still into that. It kind of seems like he distanced himself from all that. You know what I mean? Because you don't really hear about it when people bring him up. Now, like it doesn't seem like he's still that much involved. I don't know, but it just.
I mean, he was high up.
No,
high
definitely.
up in that organization.
seems-
So I don't know.
It just seems like it's never brought up. It's never brought up anymore with him, which is weird.
Well, because he's not with anyone. So it was a huge topic when he was with Katie Holmes because she couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Right? That was the whole thing. And then it came up again when Leah Remini did her Scientology documentary a couple of years ago, and his name came up in that quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. But I think after that, it just kind of went silent, oddly. But anyways, I don't know. But yeah, that's insane. He's made a movie almost every single year for 25 years. That's just fucking crazy.
It's absolutely crazy.
Like I said, I hope he does kind of. I mean, I love to see him in. I mean, he could make 10 more Mission Impossibles. I really don't care at this point. They're all great. The John Woo one is pretty funny.
Questionable.
It's just funny now. It's like it's still an entertaining movie, but if you watch it now, it's pretty hilarious, which makes it even better, honestly, because it's kind of campy and just stupid. And it doesn't fit with the rest of them at all. It's kind of like he went rogue for just one movie and became like I don't even know, and then just comes back and he's like back with the company, and like none of the rest of the movie, the vibes are so much different because it's a John Woo movie. And that's what.
Yeah, it reminds me of
there's
when Tim Burton did Batman Returns, and then it's the only one like that, and all the other ones are totally different.
Yeah, and there's like literally 100 slow motion scenes where we're like, all right, fucking quit with the goddamn slow motion shit, dude. They went wild.
Over under 50 birds in that movie.
I mean, of course, over.
It's so
But
many birds, dude.
the way the 90s, like when they discovered slow motion, they went so fucking over. It was the coolest shit to them, and they went
hard.
so hard with it, dude. It's so fucking funny, especially.
It's like the 80s music scene when they could discovered the synthesizer,
Yeah.
and they were just like, like, we're going to put this mystical synthesizer in everything,
Yeah.
dude.
In every single,
Yeah,
in
that's
every
funny.
band, yeah, every song, yeah,
Every
that makes me fucking
intro
laugh.
and outro.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's pivot, dude. What stinks this week?
Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You got a few things.
Well, I got a few things.
I'll go.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'll go first because it's mine is quick. Mine is very quick. I've had a pretty happy week, so I'm not too.
Oh, good.
I don't have not too. I don't have too many like dark things going on, but I do have one that is very light, and I took a screenshot of it earlier, and so I wanted to just quickly share that, and then you can have the floor because your stories are always better than mine. Anyway, let's see. All right, so what stinks this week? Why can't I ever find the app that I need? All right, here we go. All right, so this came on my feed this week. The 2014 NFL draft class. This is what stinks this week, although it's not this week, it's from 2014, but this came up this week. So here's the post from NFL Talk. In case anyone cares, that's the handle on Facebook. Rams quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is the only remaining QB from the entire 2014 draft class that is on an NFL roster. Here's your names. Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously on the Rams, he's the only one active. Derek Carr just retired.
Mascara.
After that, listen to this list. Johnny Manziel out of the NFL. Logan Thomas, he's switched to tight end, and he's now an unrestricted free agent. Teddy Bridgewater, unrestricted free agent. Eric Gilbert, never heard of you. Blake, he's out of the NFL. Blake Bortles retired at like 25. Tom Savage out of the NFL, never heard of you. Aaron Murray, out of the NFL, never heard of you. A.J. McCarron, heard of you, you're out of the NFL.
Alabama.
Sure. Zach Mettenberger, never heard of you, out of the NFL.
Love the name.
David Fales, heard of you, but you're out of the NFL, and I couldn't even tell you. Maybe Carolina is who that was with. I don't remember.
Fail big.
Keith Wenning out of the NFL.
Didn't win?
Taj Boyd out of the NFL.
Wow. And they were.
That is all the quarterbacks from the 2014 draft class.
Isn't that?
And that is what stinks this week.
Is that the most quarterbacks drafted in a year?
No, I doubt it.
Okay.
It's a lot, though.
That is a lot.
I'll admit it is a
That's
lot.
like 25 names.
I mean,
huh?
what is that?
20 names?
Not quite that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names.
Wow, it seemed like double that.
But to have Jimmy Garoppolo be the only one still active, especially because he's been hurt multiple times in his career, it's kind of surprising he's even. The only reason he's not out of the league himself is because he's been on the bench the last two seasons or season and a half.
Also, I mean, the kid went to 2 Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like, he gets a bad rap, but he wasn't awful. At times, he was awful.
Well, he
could agree
played
on
in
that.
1 Super Bowl. He
I
played
thought he
in
played
one.
in 2. Was it just 1?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I take it back.
Yes, Brock Purdy was in the other one.
Okay.
Now, he went to one with New England, but he wasn't playing.
He got a ring with them, didn't he? Did he get a ring with them?
Yeah, maybe 2. He might have gotten 2 with them.
Yeah. Yeah, he never cared.
And actually,
He never cared about us.
No, he doesn't care about anybody. That's the whole knock on him. He barely even shows up to he doesn't text you back. He ghosts you. That's the whole knock on Jimmy Garoppolo. It's crazy. Does not want to play quarterback for sure. Anyway, we don't need to revisit Jimmy Garoppolo, but it is wild that since Derek Carr retired, that was the catalyst for this post. And it's like, wow, of that list, maybe Derek Carr is the best quarterback on that list. Maybe.
Not
But
over
I
Jimmy.
also think Teddy Bridgewater.
Over Jimmy?
Derek Carr is
A better quarterback?
way longer, more successful. I think he's a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. Dude, Jimmy Garoppolo was very coddled by the Shanahan offense. Like, there's plenty of stats that back this up. Like, you don't follow it as close as I do, but the advanced metrics on Jimmy Garoppolo are poor.
No,
His average, yeah.
I totally believe that. But also, Derek Carr scored a lot of points in garbage time when they were down by 40 fucking points. So his stats may be a little inflated.
They are inflated,
But I'm not taking
someone's gotta throw the football.
But guess what I'm not doing? I'm not taking Mascara Boy over anybody. I don't care. You're disqualified. You're disqualified on that alone. I can't do it. I'm out.
Like I said, he might be the best quarterback on the list. To be honest with
They're
you,
probably
I think
the same.
Teddy Bridgewater.
They're the same guy. He's probably the best, honestly.
If he wasn't, if he no, honestly, if he didn't get hurt, he might be the best quarterback on here. But we'll never know.
They're all pretty
So,
much the same guy. Yep, that is crazy.
they're not. They're not great. That's a terrible class of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Just terrible. So,
Well, and that's
all right.
goes to show you how fucking, and that's why I'm so interested to see what Shador Sanders does. I'm very interested to see where that train leads. But let's keep it in the sports world. We were kind of talking about this earlier, but we have to talk about the NBA draft lottery because it is complete nonsense. It's bullshit. I fully believe now that things can be rigged. They are rigged. They've been rigged. I think in every league across the sports world, not every year, but every other year, because what has gone on in the NBA this year makes absolutely zero sense at all from several different perspectives. And I'm going to start with number one, the Luka Doncic trade to the LA Lakers, who the Dallas Mavericks last year were in the NBA Finals and only lost it. I forget what the final game tally was, but we're in the NBA Finals last year, have a top 3 player in Luka Doncic, and 4 months ago now, out of nowhere, in the middle of the night, they decide to trade away one of the top 3 players in the world, who's only 25 years old, to the biggest sports market in the world. While NBA ratings were down, they shopped around to nobody. They told no other team that he was even available. He was just in the middle of the night, traded away to the LA Lakers for 32-year-old, injury-prone, albeit great player, Anthony Davis, but only Anthony Davis and a first-round draft pick, I believe. And that was it. Mikal Bridges, just to put this in perspective, who was a Brooklyn Net a few years ago, and is not Luka Doncic, by the way. He's not a top
Right.
top 10 player in the league. He might not even be a top 20 player in the league. Was traded from the Brooklyn Nets to the New York Knicks for 5 first-round draft picks. 5. Now,
Wow.
Luka Doncic, again, top 3 to 5 player in the world, 25 years old, was traded away to the Lakers while the NBA ratings were taking a shit. And they, again, traded for a 32-year-old injury-prone Anthony Davis. Now, that seems pretty suspect to me. Seems pretty strange that no other owner in the NBA even knew that Luka Doncic was available. Because how many first-round draft picks would he command? 10? 8?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
I think I'm still stuck on that anyone would trade 5 first-round picks for any player.
right. That seems to be insane.
I still don't understand that. That seems ridiculous to begin with.
When Rudy Gobert from the Utah Jazz was traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves, I forget how many first-round draft picks that was, but it was a lot. And that guy can't shoot within 5 feet of the goddamn fucking rim. All right? So, anyways, that seems pretty suspect, but whatever. You go, fine. It shook the league. It shook everything up. But you go, all right, I can barely believe that. But then last night, the NBA lottery happens, the NBA draft lottery happens, and the Dallas Mavericks have a 1.8% chance of winning the first round pick. And mind you, they were in the play-in tournament this year, a month ago. They were almost going to make the playoffs, okay? So not even a team that even deserves the first pick. I don't even understand why the NBA does it this way. It should just be the way the NFL does it. It should always be that way.
No one does.
It makes
no one understands
absolute no sense. But they somehow get the number 1 draft pick, and they get another what's supposed to be a generational player, that remains to be seen, in Cooper Flagg out of Duke. And this all just stinks to absolute high heaven. I can't believe any of it anymore. I think it's all WWE now, and I think I just got to accept that, like wrestling fans do, where you just go, yes, this is fake, but enjoy the show. And I just think that's where we're at now.
Right.
And as a Kings fan, it is what it is. We don't even have a first round pick. We got nothing, 0. And the San Antonio Spurs got the 2nd pick, who they just got Victor Wembanyama a year ago.
Right, 2 years ago, right?
A year ago. I think it was just last year. He's only 1 year in. The Kings traded the Spurs De'Aaron Fox. What did we get out of that? Nothing. $60 million Zach LaVine contract. DeMar DeRozan, who doesn't pass the ball or knows what defense is. It's insane. The whole thing's insane. we're going to be stuck in perpetuity forever, and it is what it is. It's wrestling, and I just got to accept it's wrestling now. I got to pick my favorite wrestlers: The Rock, Stone Cold. Who I just got to go with
whoever's the villain is LeBron. Yeah, I'm with you.
So
yeah. Well, so what stinks this week is two realizations. One, that the NBA is probably rigged, and two, if it isn't, the Kings are stuck in purgatory in perpetuity. And so that's
what I meant.
Two things that stink. Yeah, well, dude, that's two things that stink.
But they've been doing. But then I looked into this because I was so I was just like, this is ridiculous. So I looked into it, and this is going back to when Patrick Ewing was drafted. There was controversy in the lottery with the frozen envelope and whatever that whole snafu was.
Right.
And then you got Derrick Rose to the Bulls when Chicago needed a star player and a revival. And then you got Zion Williamson to the Pelicans. You got Cooper Flagg to the Mavericks. It's just, it's like almost like they're laughing at us. They go, we can just do this. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because guess what? I'm still gonna watch because I have to see how it plays out, and I gotta watch Cooper. Yep. I gotta watch Cooper Flagg. I have to. He's gonna be too good. Maybe.
Yeah, the NBA. I really got disillusioned with them, and part of it is being a Kings fan because we're in a small market. No one wants to play here. No free agents ever sign here, and so what makes this whole thing more intolerable is the fact that a team like the Kings has no other chance but the draft. So because no one's signing here, they're just not. So either get rid of all small market teams because you're rigging the draft in such a way that they're never going to win it, or you got to get rid of that system and just let it be what all other sports are, which is if you suck, you get the best pick, and it's never stopped tanking. It never has,
and it's
just stupid. The whole thing is stupid.
Even more interesting is the past couple days now, like all the big, I guess you would say whatever journalist is these days, but all the big NBA media has come out in the past couple days and all kind of at the same time being like, well, the lottery cannot be rigged. It's impossible to rig it. They've all come out at the same exact time, all saying the same exact thing. So it's like all you guys got your talking points for sure. And it's like, yeah, you just cannot convince me that the Dallas Mavericks would make that decision and send this guy for no reason to the Los Angeles Lakers, the biggest sports market, and then they just happen to get his replacement with a 2% chance. I don't care what evidence you present me. I will never believe it. I won't.
Well, and you were telling me earlier today that they don't even do the lottery in public view, that's a red flag right there. They have the balls that they're supposed to pull it out
and
of.
It's and the way they do it is so convoluted. It's you have to get a certain combination of balls, I guess, is the way I understand it. It doesn't make any sense. It's so fucking stupid. It should be like the NFL draft. Whoever comes in last, because guess what? I get
that's how all sports are.
And I get the NFL's different. I get that. But I mean, look at the NFL. You got Josh Allen to the Bills. You got Patrick Mahomes to the Chiefs. You got Lamar Jackson to the Ravens. There is parity, so it does work. And I don't know if obviously they're two different sports, but so if it works there, to me, it should work the same in the NBA. But then people will be like, well, then teams will just tank. They're already tanking. They're already doing it. It's not going to change anything. They're already tanking.
No.
There's already players sitting out. There's already teams faking injuries for players so they can sit out, so they're ready for the playoffs, which, by the way, maybe that's the reason there's so many injuries now in the playoffs, because they sit out so many goddamn games in the regular season. They're not conditioned for the playoffs, and the playoffs are way more intense.
That's what I was saying. I'm disillusioned with the NBA for lots of reasons. The guaranteed contracts, the fact that players play barely ever, and also just the social media aspect of it too, which all sports have it, but the level of which they have it is very different. Baseball players, they don't, it's culturally from a sport culture, it's just different there. There's more tradition there. There's more whatever. They're not,
it's very frowned upon.
Let me say it this way.
It's frowned upon.
Let me say it is frowned upon because the whole idea of social media, and you hear players talking about this in the NBA and the NFL, is, well, I got to build my brand, which I get because your career as an athlete, excuse me, is very short. So you do need to maximize the time, your ability to do that, I guess. But that's a relatively new concept, and so it makes me think you're not interested in the sport. You're interested in yourself and your brand. So, and there's plenty of examples of this, right? Every athlete has a podcast now, and I mean the football players do too. Believe me. But
Well, the Kelsey brothers.
it's different.
Well, yeah,
I think
no, they all do. Yeah, you're right.
No, they all do. I mean, Fred Warner, who I love, Fred Warner is a gamer, but he brings his lunch pail every day, and he never misses a game. He's never hurt. He's conditioned. He puts in the work, but he's not distracted by that. And so some players can do it, and some players can't. But I mean, and again, it's not just the NBA, but I think the NBA has a bigger problem, and I think you nailed it right. The point of your message today was the odds of this happening are like literal lottery odds. Where it's like it should never happen, and it definitely shouldn't happen 3 to 4 times in the last 15 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And as you mentioned, the whole Luka Doncic trade to the Lakers came out of nowhere. No one knew it was going to happen, and you can't keep anything quiet.
No.
There's nothing quiet in sports.
Especially in
the NBA.
there's
always rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
always.
So that whole thing, it's like the old Seinfeld. It's like an onion. The more layers you peel, the more it stinks.
You don't trade a 25-year-old for you don't do it. And
there was no cause for it too. There was no rumors really that he was disgruntled.
There were problems. So they say. Now this could be all fabricated.
I think they manufactured them.
This could all be completely fabricated. But they say that Luka wasn't conditioning and like he was lazy and all, and that him and the GM weren't getting along. But it doesn't matter when it's Luka Doncic. You keep Luka Doncic and you fire the fucking GM. That's what you do.
Exactly.
And then you find a new one who's going to work with them and get along with them. You don't send away Luka Doncic. You just don't. And then and then
that's like cutting Aaron Rodgers in his prime.
It's insane.
And being like, we're gonna you just don't do that.
And then the city of Dallas wanted Nico Harrison's head, and now he gets his redemption arc. It's sick. Yeah. It's sick.
It's bad. All right. Do you have another?
Yeah.
What stinks this week?
I got a weird one. So I was going to work the other day. Well, I was coming home from work the other day, and there was a fly in my car.
I love where this is headed already.
And which that happens. It's not the most crazy thing. It's annoying. It's very annoying, especially because I have to drive so far with that. And then I didn't drive my car on Mother's Day, so my car was outside all day. And Monday I worked. So Monday about 3:00, I go to my car and I open my door, and it is an exorcism worthy amount of flies that are in my car. It's like 15.
Oh my God.
It's like 15 flies in my car. There's like 5 dead ones on the dashboard, and then there's like
what? Genocide, dude?
I don't fucking know, dude. It was so I get in my car and I'm just in a flurry, dude. And I'm trying to like swat them out, but I'm like, I gotta go to work, so I have to get in my car, and there's 25 flies in this car. It's insane what was happening, and I was like, dude, I'm like looking for like old food, and I'm like looking for old old fast food bag. There's nothing in my car. There's literally.
You're like, is there a carcass in here?
It was fucking crazy. So I rolled down the windows all the way, all 4 of them, and I swear to God, dude, there's a fly on my windowsill who's just holding on. They're not leaving. They're not leaving the car. They're all just, and so I'm getting on the freeway, so I have to roll up my windows, and dude, the whole way to work. It was a zoo. It was like the butterfly exhibit, but with flies. I'm fucking I'm like, they're landing on my head.
Even with the windows open, you kept the windows open.
They would not leave
all the way.
No, because I had to get on the I had to get on the freeway, so I had to roll them up.
Right. Nah, that was your mistake. That's where the high pressure winds come in.
Dude, I was going down. I was zipping down Zinfandel, all 4 windows open, and these flies, dude. I don't know what the fuck happened. I was like, I shouldn't even drive right now. This has to be the worst omen. I was like, literally, like, should I just call out of work? I should probably call out of work. This is fucking crazy. This is crazy.
I gotta call out due to flies.
I'm like, dude, did I shit in my car? Is there shit?
or someone else.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, is there shit in my car?
Oh my God.
So I get to work and I roll my windows down because I park right outside my work. So I just roll all my windows down for the night, and I go and like I clean up all the dead guys,
The dead
all the dead
soldiers.
soldiers, and there's still a fly in my car right now. Today I was driving home from the movie.
Do you have a bug bomb? Do you guys have one of those? I've had to use it for spiders and stuff.
No, I don't think I can put that in my car. I'll fucking poison myself.
Yeah, 100% you can. No.
What?
It's like
I can't drive it for like a day.
Like when. No, you do it at night. No, you just do it at night.
I have to
and you air it out.
I have to get one of those circus tents for my car.
You won't have to do that. I promise.
I think I do, dude.
That would be hilarious, though.
But dude, the other thing is all the flies had the same markings. They were like all this.
How close to these flies did
they
you
were
get?
all over me. They were literally all over me. And they were all fucking like fluorescent green and like purple. They were the Ninja Turtles.
Those are the eyes. Yeah, they reflect.
But whatever, dude. It was the whole family.
Yeah.
And over Mother's Day, they fucking grew their colony by like 25. Dude, it was insane.
Dude, that's so
It was a
crazy.
hurricane of flies.
A fly can live anywhere between a few days to several months. House flies generally live 15 to 30 days. Fruit flies are a little bit shorter. But yeah, man, especially if there's nothing to eat, they should die in a day or two.
Well, yeah, there was multiple dead.
So I don't know what.
But
so what did you have in your car?
There's nothing in there. That's what I'm saying. I thought for sure there was like some old Donald's or some old T-Bell. But no.
It says flies dwelling in warm homes and labs develop faster.
Dude.
But they do multiply quickly. It's because they just lay eggs.
In my car.
You know?
Great.
Yeah, in your car. And then, yeah. So you're going to have to bug bomb it, dude. But I've done it. I've done it many times. You know, when you lose the spot. Yeah, because it's easy. Because all the windows, you roll them up. So it kills them fast. And then you just air it out.
I'm fighting a war right now. There's a problem because there's still there's still one guy in there. And I know he's going to find another. So I don't think this is over. I don't think this is over by a long shot.
Check back next week, guys, for Flygate.
I think this is over by a long shot, dude.
World War Z of flies.
Well, and I also just I felt gross. I'm like, do I stink? Like,
yeah, I would too.
I felt like a steaming pile of poo. I felt
you're like Linus from the Peanuts, dude. No, not Linus. What's his name? Pigpen, dude. Pigpen's walking around with that guy.
Dude, I felt like a homeless guy. Like, what is happening?
Well, you know, I love this because this will be a good way to bring this full circle and wrap up the show. Christian drives. Wait for it. A Dodge Avenger, and this particular Avenger can't defeat a group of flies. Absolutely powerless. This Avenger has nothing.
Yeah.
It's a terrible.
I need the
terrible superhero. You need the Thunderbolts, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
All right. Well, any last minute comments before we go? Florence Wu.
That's all I got. It's Florence. Woo.
All right. It's Florence Wu. She does a great job.
Love her.
Good actress. Yeah. She does a good job.
Yeah, we'll say that. All righty, guys.
She does.
As always,
she's good.
Check out thescreengods.com, guys. Check us out on every single platform that's available on planet Earth and on other planets. We're there. We're on Mars already via Starlink. Check.
The only planet we're not on is Patreon. We should probably get that.
Yeah,
going.
we probably should.
But we're on X. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, you guys. So. We'll see you on the socials.
Thank you for all this.
You can go to thescreengods.com, and all the socials are at the bottom of that, too. It's an easy way to find us.
And always thank you for all the support, you guys. We always appreciate it, and we love you. And we will see you next week.
All right, guys. See you later.